Hi, I'm Rob and this is Ambition to Achieve, and today I'm joined by Jared and we're going to go and do a deep dive into his business journey. So, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about your business?
I would, Borada. Thank you, Rob. Nice to see you again. My name is Jared Pegler, native of Anglesey, now living in Llamarfechan for some 30 odd years, I think. And what I currently do and what I've been doing for the past 15 years is I'm one of the directors of Your Local Dragon, which are these lovely handy little directories that you get through your door from Carnarvon, Bangor, Anglesey, right through to Flint, Ewloe, Buckley and Chester. So if you don't get one, give me a shout because we'll need to rectify that. We'll send one to you personally.
It's quite a big network that, isn't it, Jared?
It's grown, it's really grown.
There.
Yeah. I was just talking with my business partner, Andrea, yesterday, and we were discussing the past sort of 15 or so years. So 2010, 2011 it started. And we started on Anglesey. We did 3 volumes, 3 areas on Anglesey. And after that, we developed it. It just became one area on Anglesey then, because I thought it was a little bit frivolous having 3 different areas when people can obviously travel the length and breadth of Anglesey, go on to Gwynedd, mainland, carry on down the coast, and so it's worked down the coast as well, and has done. We've been slowly adding to it over the years. So we're very happy with the way it's developed. Really
okay,
good.
So tell us a little bit then. Obviously, there's a lot of ambition I can see there. Creating, you said, we were talking just before we came on the video, 15 years old, the Local Dragon this year, so there's quite a journey there. But you've also got your own design business. I mean, tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I've worked since graduating as a graphic designer in 1994. I'm coming back to North Wales. There wasn't a lot of graphic design around, not the kind I wanted to do. It was either you worked in a printers or that was it basically, So I've done lots of other jobs. I've done some healthcare assistant in mental health unit because of my creative side. I've done part-time teaching on the foundation and the GMVQ courses in the college in Bangor, which is really, really good. Getting
interesting,
imparting your knowledge onto
a younger generation,
people and older generation that are like, right, I really want to do this. I don't know where to start. So I've done all kinds of things, really like yourself, And so, but when I finally started working as a graphic designer for, I think, was it about 7 or 6, 7, 8 years, graphic design places in the area, so honing my craft, building up my skill set. I did actually I was made redundant from a printers on Anglesey, and that was my chance really to, as a lot of people say, that was the chance. It's hard to leave a job when you're in it and you have a family and a home and stuff like that. But that was my chance then to start working as
Take the leap, as they say.
Yeah. And you never know when it's going to come to you. And we all feel it. And I think people around you, people you work with, they often know that, like, this is a person that's going to be going for it on their own eventually. You feel it. People around you feel it, and consequently, people you meet and work with, they know it as well. They'll feel it as well. 15 years of development. I'm my business partner actually So when I was made redundant in 2009, I had a year then of looking for jobs, working, doing whatever I could. And then I got a phone call one day from a lady called Andrea Monteith. Hi, Andrea. And she'd been working doing business networking, producing magazines, all sorts of things to do with business, writing, all kind of things, creative, really. And she was running a magazine called Word of Mouth, and she suggested that maybe we'd like to work together. She was actually a friend of my uncle's, and my uncle had said, oh yeah, my nephew's a graphic designer. So that was it. A couple of phone calls, meeting, started working together. And it was her idea to produce what used to be called the parish newsletter, the local
style, the local village newsletter.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's lots of people doing them up and down the country, but there wasn't really a hard-hitting one in this area, you see. So I say this area, but we now cover the coast right down as far as Chester, as I say. So
So it's a directory really then, as I remember it. I mean, I've had a number of businesses that have advertised in it over the years. It's a directory for people, isn't it? So obviously homeowners, if you're storm damage or flood damage, or you want a new fireplace or windows and doors, it's predominantly that type of directory, isn't it, where people can find local businesses quite quickly that can fix those issues.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely right. We tend not to do too much editorial. I know there's some magazines that kind of confuse the boundaries, blur the boundaries. They're big and glossy, and they look fantastic, but to our mind, there's not a lot of money in them. The kind of cottage industries, I think, which is very, very lovely, to be able to do this, to produce lovely photographs and lovely glossy covers, but we don't think they bring in the revenue as much as like a handy directory, as when people go, oh my God, I've got a leak. Where's that little book? Where's that handy little book? That's what they call it. Which it's great for us, and it just does what it says on the tin. Keep it simple, keep it plain. Colourful. It's branded so people know when they see it. Right. If it comes through the door, that's great. It comes through the letterbox, which is what we do with Royal Mail, and we've had some local delivery people helping us over the years. But we also do have a limited number in like shops and shopping centres, like Daniel Centre.
Kind of information stand type
setup, exactly. Yeah. So if people are out and they've not had one that time,
they can pick one up.
It's ideal. And if they're out,
creates awareness, doesn't it? Of the brand. Of course. Yeah.
And absolutely, if they're out shopping somewhere like Sturmat, they've been great. Letting us have a stand there. And if they're going for some paint and decorating, they think,
they're in that mindset, and they, I might need a handyman to finish off something else. Sort of project.
Home improvements, ideal.
No, it's looking there now. Obviously, you've got the network there. You've got Anglesey
and Gwynedd.
Cover all the North Wales counties then.
Yes,
all the way up to the Cheshire border.
Cheshire border, and we do actually go into Cheshire as well. So after that, there's a lot more directories and books that way as you go forward. Further east, and I guess we're still quite new because 15 years, like I say, the Chester one is relatively new. I think 7 to 8 years we've been doing consistently in that side further over east. So and there's a lot more competition there, but it holds its own, and one day we might just focus on it, and that's what we can do, push it. So at the moment we're doing a big push on the Anglesey because it's got 80 pages in there. It's quite
it's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, quite a sturdy one. And so there's potential for them all to be focused on in turn, and increase in value and revenue and interest and advertising.
So the business model then, just so that we've, myself and the viewers have got an understanding. So the revenue module is the advertisers then, obviously they pay you a monthly or an annual subscription. Is that how it works? And then that's what covers the cost within the business and the printing and the design costs, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you have sponsorship as well? Or
no, purely adverts.
Right.
So it does. There are options really as well. If you were advertising 1, 2, or 3, there is a reduction, and it comes out. It's bi-monthly. It comes out 2 monthly.
Right.
So six issues a year. So people can pick and choose which ones they go in, the size of their adverts, obviously, and there's obviously reductions for the longer they stay in. There's different packages, that sort of thing,
Right, okay.
So there's options from the smallest adverts to a big, luxurious double page spread there to advertise your wares, your lifestyles, your dental plan for employees. So it's got everything in it,
Yeah, it's amazing how you talk about earlier on about it having the kind of parish newsletter feel. Obviously, this is a lot, a big step up, isn't it? A lot glossier and a lot more useful. And I like how you've used obviously your local dragon. So initially, when that comes through your door, you feel like you take ownership because it's mine, isn't it? And
yeah.
That's how it's made its success. So talking obviously about success there, what would you say yours and Andrea's ambition was with setting this up? What was the ambition behind it? Was there a gap, do you say, for
most definitely
local services?
Most definitely, yeah. And Andrea had produced a magazine before with like business networking and so forth, and I don't think it really jumped off the page for her enough. So we were kind of knocking some ideas about, and as you know, if you find the right person to work with, the ambition just grows,
it's half
isn't
the
it?
battle, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've worked together a long time, and we kind of feed off each other, second guess each other. One will maybe pull the other back or say, push the other forward. You know, what's going on here? What can we do? What shouldn't we do? And so we both. It's nice having two sides of the same coin, really. You know, saying one will push, one will pull, one will think, is this right? Is this correct? Should we? But on the whole, it's kind of like, let's go for it. Let's develop, and keep progressing
and supporting each other. I mean, we were talking earlier on, weren't we? And you know, in the meetings and the interviews I had this morning, about having, obviously, you know, this is a big business, is a big network, it's a big area to cover, but having the right people, as you said there, alongside you, because you know you can't do everything yourself. It's having, you know, it's letting go. I suppose it's understanding that mindset of your strengths and your weaknesses, and bringing in the people then to support those weaknesses, but having the right people around you. So tell us a little bit more about that. What it's been like having, you know, the right people around you. You know, meeting Andrea and how you've kind of bounced off each other. Has that added to your success, would you say, and improved the ambition?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, because. Like you say, I qualified as a graphic designer. I moved back to Anglesey and kind of started up my own sort of network really after being away in Lancashire in university, in London working, and then sort of setting up my own network. And luckily meeting Andrea, we just really we got on together. And yeah, I was always ambitious, not as ambitious as Andrea, I have to say, because I think I'm a little bit. Not frivolous, but I think I'm a bit of a dreamer. But that comes into its own as well, because I'll have ideas, and it's just maybe I'll speak to Andrea about how to implement them. You know, so that's what can we do with this. So we've both had a bit of a dream, and both met luckily, and that was the click. You know, to get it going. Yeah. So a little bit about then. Obviously, you're involved in this business. So we'll take it back slightly to your design business. What does success actually look like within that business for you on the graphic design side of things? Because it was quite interesting. We've known each other for many years, haven't we? And I think you share it sometimes if it comes up as a memory on social media, where you designed was it the Vauxhall Corsa? That's right. Within the box for your university degree. Tell us a bit more about that, because I always thought that was quite an interesting one when you shared that photo. Yeah. I'll share it again later as well, so you can pick it up and see it. So our final year in University of Central Lancashire was, because we were predominantly a graphic design degree students, but that covers packaging, typography, visuals, product design, limited TV and media at the time that we were graduating in '94. You know, it was different world, wasn't it? Yeah. But we were all of us were into packaging and retro, vintage, that sort of thing, and toys and stuff, basically. You know, and that's how ideas develop. How they bounce forward is kind of looking back, taking the idea, the element, and projecting it forward. And at the time in '94, there were small cars were coming out, like Vauxhall Corsa in particular, and that really grabbed our attention. We were thinking, what about if we packaged it like in the garage forecourt, or if a husband was to buy one for his wife on the birthday, and it would arrive like on the lawn or on the front drive, packaged up with a bow on it. Yeah, the big box, and it really got into this sort of stuff. And so we packaged this. Well, built the whole box out of like MDF, bought massive rolls of paper from a photography studio. Coated it, printed and cut out the graphics on it, bought a massive sheet of Perspex about the size of that wall that became the window of the Vauxhall Corsa. And I don't know why we picked a Corsa really. I think because they'd just come out with the small car, you know, the low emissions, low engine size, smaller, easy to get around the city, smaller engines. So we just picked on that. And I remember it was a turquoise little Corsa. So we built it, we put it up in the foyer, a bit like the foyer here of M-Spark. It was a lovely mezzanine floor foyer. Yeah, it was brilliant. So everyone could come and see it. And then we actually hired a van and we took it down to London to exhibit down there as part of our degree show. Expanded our degree show down to London to try and get some interest and
connections and
because we were always into stuff like as young graphic designers, just into visuals and advertising, great ideas and stuff like that. So That was
it's
real
always
coup, that was.
always, you know, you share it, I think, every few years on social media, don't
when
you,
I find it again,
when it comes back up as a memory, and it always makes me smile when I see it, because it's, I don't know, it's just different, isn't it? It's something that you probably, well, I haven't seen it been done since, what did you say, 1994 when you done
94 when we graduated,
94?
yeah.
You know, so it just always catches my attention when I see you kind of sharing that, and I find it really interesting. And that brings me on to my next question. Obviously, you know, when you started, you spoke a little bit there about being employed, and then you went into self-employment. What was your situation when you started that self-employment journey? What made you kind of take that leap, and why did you do it, really?
Well, yeah, that's kind of when I got into, it was a bit of a shock, obviously, being made redundant, and that's kind of when I got into working at home, because I spent a year then. Luckily, we did have some insurance on our home that paid a small sort of wage to me, like what do they call it these days? Accident, sickness, unemployment payment.
Kind of a cover.
Cover, yeah. So we were lucky we did take some of that out, you know, so don't default on your insurances, guys, because one day it'll be there to help you. So we got a year where I was supported paying the mortgage, really, so it was one less thing to worry about. I mean, it's still a tricky time, you know. I had to do all sorts of things just to get cash, really. And but then when I finally sort of started, I did get a couple of leads. Like, I started my own small graphic design company. I was doing a bit of part-time lecturing, trying to get back into sort of like college network again, teaching, going in and just like kind of wanting to find groups where I could go and expand my ideas and tell other people that are up and coming how to do it, how I started on it, you know, much like the same that you're doing. You know, I quite like talking, as you can tell, and like inspiring people. And then, so after a year of like getting used to sort of working at home and doing all this, I thought, well, this is a place for me to be. You know, I like it. I can work from here. Less time for me going out, driving around, going to work, getting stuck in queues, getting stressed. So I thought, if I could make this work,
more family time as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there such a thing as terminology work-life balance? But it's finding that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Between the two.
I can do it at home. A lot of people say, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I can't do what you do." Because, well, if you have to, you will. And it was really, really great going out and finding customers, finding clients, and like as you just asked, these days, what makes it kind of, what still makes it for me as a positivity is like waking up, checking my emails and finding a couple of inquiries in there, or a phone call saying, "Oh, do you do?" Yeah, of course I do printing and
fresh energy.
Yeah, it's like, oh gosh, someone's seen my adverts, they've heard what I do, or they found me online, and really wanting to like use my skills. And then you start from the quote stage. Then, what do they want? How many do they want? If it's leaflet printing, that sort of thing. Do they want logo, whatever? Just starting from the beginning. So that's still a little bit not nervous, really, but kind of like you have to think. You can't just churn them out. You've got to think every time. Right, it's a new job. It's a new person. It's a new contact. Yeah. Let's give them the same sort of treatment that I've always done with the client. You know, focus, sit down.
Can't take your foot off the gas in a way. Yeah.
No, that's it.
It's keeping. You know, it's building that relationship with the customer, isn't it, and the client, as you say, and you know,
having them come back. Yeah,
and return customer, and making sure that you, in a way, set the kind of benchmark of this is the service that I provide, and you know that nervous energy, as you said there. It takes you, it takes you to that point, doesn't it? And you continue to give that good service, you know. So what would you say? Obviously, a lot of positives there, but what would you say was the hardest part of your journey? And have you ever had a moment where you thought, actually, do you know what, this is not working?
I suppose I've had a few moments like that, really, but when there's no alternative, it's like, you've got to. You've got to make it work, haven't you? But one thing that I learned, I mean, I suppose I started doing business plans and writing this down and planning that, and then you've just got to start. You've just got to start. And one thing is, you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to get the office. You don't have to get the computer. You don't have to get the phone. You don't have to get the accountant. You don't have to get all the advertising. Don't worry about that, because it will all come. And I think that's kind of how I visualized it in the beginning, was, I've got to get all this in place. Oh my God, do I borrow money and then pay it back? But I just started doing it, because you get a year when you're working, you get a year before you have to submit your accounts or whatever. So
to see,
that's fine. You've got a year.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry. Just keep a record of your stuff. Go out meeting people, places like Spark, meeting people like yourself. You know, what's handy is having a good sort of business network where you can go discuss ideas, and people can go, oh, actually, you do graphic design, don't you? Or posters, or business cards, logos, flyers. Yeah, of course, you know. And now, obviously, I can promote the Dragon. You know, it's ideal for me. If only there was somewhere to advertise. I'm like,
it's like a one-stop shop, and also immersing yourself into. I mean, it's interesting. We'll just take a step back there, what you said about just take the leap and just start. I mean, you know, the viewers on the cameras here, they can't see the whole setup.
No,
but this is ambition to achieve just starting. You know, we're in a small rented room here. We're using iPhones.
Yeah.
So
because the technology is brilliant. Yeah. You've already got the technology.
You know, obviously the ambition is to have our own studio and have a full team, but we've just taken that leap there, and we've started with what we've got around us.
That's it. That's the key.
You know, and that's the first step, as you were saying, for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's not overthinking it and just taking that first step, and then, as you say, you've got that 12-month period where you can immerse yourself into networks, speak to people, introduce the different things that you do.
Yeah.
Before you have to actually take it seriously.
Yeah.
And it gives you that breathing space to test the model, doesn't it? And prove that concept. So not a lot of difficulty then. I mean, obviously, hard parts through the journey.
Hard part was starting again, kind of after being like made redundant, I suppose, and you know, I some bits of it being employed I enjoyed, other bits I didn't. Some bosses were great, encouraging. Some were horrible. You know, if I can say that, you know. And I always knew I was going to be, or wanted to be, self-employed, but it's really hard when you house, family, and stuff. How do you make the break? And the break came naturally for me then. And I had to do it. But there was worries along the way, you know. But you can't just. But there's no option to just jack it in, because what have you got then? If you don't do it, you're not doing anything. It's like if you stop, if you don't try, you know, you're moving backwards, aren't you? So as long as you're moving forward and trying something, keep trying something, keep moving forward. Go out, meet people, talk, or stay in and do it online and just message people. But I'm a great believer in like seeing people, having a scores, having a chat. So, definitely.
I mean, the world now, you know, when you were starting out in the 90s, obviously, letters, telephone calls, face to face was the way forward, wasn't it? Whereas now you've got, you know, technology like Zoom, Teams, virtual events. You can attend events, you know, hybrid they call it now, isn't it? So you can do 50% virtual, 50% face to face. So that's changed the business world, and that brings us on to the next bit, which I think might be a little bit of the elephant in the room, because we're talking to you being a graphic designer, AI. So where have you seen, if any, you know, it might be a positive, might be a negative, what's been the impact of AI, you know, protocols and kind of platforms that can create images, text and logos from one prompt? How would you say that that's affected and continues to affect your business?
Well, I don't think it's affected our business as much as it's, say, affected filmmaking or perhaps gaming or something like that. Because we've always been fighting against social media anyway, and to us AI is just a bit of an extension of that. You know, I remember when they used to say, like, it's the death of paper. It's all going to be online. I go on Facebook, I do. It's all online now. Well, it's not, clearly, because people
still want these,
it. Yeah. Younger generation, even as well, who perhaps don't trust the media so much. But, you know, if the lights go out, electricity fails, you've always got this in your bottom drawer. You know what I mean? You can always find that.
And also, you know, I mean, this is free to the consumer, but it must be working, because all of these businesses continue to
come
advertise
back to us
with you. So
they do.
There must be something that works there.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. But like you say, as far as like AI goes, I mean, we do indulge in it ourselves. I mean, I watch some of the movies on YouTube, and it's unbelievable, you know, the quality, and it's just incredible. I was always into films and animation anyway, but we have used it. We're aware of it. We do use it somewhat because we have. In our magazines, we always have a little light-hearted welcome for. If I can find a little welcome page now.
Didn't you used to have a? I mean, I remember from it's been coming through our doors for years, isn't it? But didn't you used to have a little good news story as well, or a joke, or a
joke page. We've got puzzles pages. We used to get people to send stuff in. Over the years, we've tried many things, but if they're not working, do you know what? We're not afraid of taking it out. Yeah. Change it. Yeah. Andrea's a bit better at than I am, because she's like, let's do, what can we do here? What can we do this? And once prompted, I'll say, what about this? And she say, yeah, no, oh, that's it. You know, what can we do? Just keep changing it.
Keep evolving.
Yeah, keep absolutely. Changing. So you see, we have a welcome here. We try and do as much in Dwy Eithog as well, you know, both languages, English and Welsh. So mae croeso I bobl gosod hysbysebion mewn Cymraeg hefyd, so da ni'n trio more Dwy Eithog a fedra ni. So we've got, for example, an English and a Welsh welcome here. So Andrea now will take a loose text about it's springtime, open the windows, you know, clean your carpet, stuff like that. Why not employ somebody to come and do your garden? Because hopefully the terrible weather's gone. We're looking forward to sun, summer, holidays maybe, you know, decorating and stuff. So she'll put into ChatGPT, maybe to shorten it, to keep the punch, but to shorten it. And that will come back. She'll send that back. ChatGPT will send it back to us. And then she can sort of formulate it. It still needs some editing as well, you know. It's
and humanising as well, isn't it? Sometimes you find... If you, I think, you know, not to name any of the platforms, but what you get out is only as good as what you put in. So if the prompt is, you know, pitch perfect and it's got everything that you need, then what you get out of it usually is quite good. But as you say, I do think you still need to proofread and just check it for kind of humanise the content, because sometimes it's a bit machine operated, isn't it?
And it's still learning, I think, as well, you know. But with visuals, I don't set adverts using... I have played with it, I've played about, but it doesn't really know, like we know by now, myself and Andrea. And, you know, my experience tells me what will work. And indeed, if the advertisers say, oh, yeah, it's been a great couple of months, that's fine, don't change it, don't change the advert. But if it's not working, then we're more than happy to change it. There have been instances where I've taken an advert, ran it through Dola, I think, so it can sharpen up the images, give me some text ideas, but then I always reset my own text in Photoshop anyway. And I still use like stock images, you know, like Dreams Time, Adobe, iStock, that sort of thing. Because if you need an image of like somebody cleaning a carpet or something, although our advertisers will have their own images that they can send us, but if they don't, say they're just starting out and they don't have any images or whatever, we can find one on one of these iStock sites, image sites, you know. Or let's not forget, if I need an image of like a building or a river or something, I'm quite happy to go out and take pictures of these things. So don't forget what's outside your door, really, you know. Yeah. I love going out and taking photos of random things that you pass anyway. A lot of my social media feeds are sort of full of things like that. Plants blooming, just walking past, just catching something in the moment, you know. So that's a lot.
And sometimes that's the best results, isn't it? When it's not too kind of cinematic or set up, you know. You feel like we were talking earlier on about photography, weren't we? And you gave the kind of analogy of the spider's web with the dew on it and the sun shining through. Yeah. You'll only ever catch that in a very specific moment in time, won't you? And,
of course.
You know, hitting that shoot button and catching it, you know, it's... So you would say then AI has become more of a tool in your toolbox as opposed to where it's a risk, you know?
Yeah, I think it plays a small part with us. It's not... but particularly it's handy with the text. Sometimes I might run it through and get a visual from it. But the thing with AI, I've noticed on Facebook with like posters for the WI or so-and-so's party or a musical event, all the posters look the same.
Yeah.
Got flowery border, the text does this.
You notice them more so now.
They look like tea towels, don't they?
They pop, don't they?
Yeah. But they all kind of do look a little bit the same. I mean, if ours were flooded with that, there wouldn't be any difference, you know. I mean, there's certain elements we use for, like builders have got certain elements, colours maybe that grab attention, the materials they use that got a feature on the advert. There's a different style for like vets. There's different style for
different colour coordination.
Plumbers, yeah, absolutely. What makes people go, oh, a plumber?
But I think it's interesting what you say there, because obviously you can't blame. Let's say, for example, you've got a voluntary village group, and they use ChatGPT for everything. For example, you can't blame them paying the small subscription to that monthly, because it could potentially give them everything.
True.
But you say then, you can spot them a mile off on social media because of the colour grading look exactly the same. And that's where, it brings it back really to the point that it needs somebody like yourself with that human knowledge of colour grading for different industries, having the design done in a certain way. And, when you pick up one of these guides, we get them through the door, as you say, every other month. And, it kind of, you can see the difference between a human who's created them and it just being run through an AI,
a bit of a mill,
a system, and that's, I suppose, what gives it the difference, doesn't it? Where you have those, I suppose that's the good thing, where companies come back and they know that you're going to use your design services, as opposed to AI. So it's I mean, I pick it up in these conversations. Some people in some industries find it really useful for things like proofreading and using it on the text spaces.
Checking is key.
The kind of new start businesses use it to save money. Yeah. So they'll design the logo, they'll design their taglines and stuff and their images just to save money. So you wouldn't see it as a risk then, it's more of a tool really that you can utilise. And maybe being positive towards it and integrating it into your work, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, integrate it if we need to, but we wouldn't go all out and just
run the business on it.
No. Although it's going to be able to do a lot more in future. I believe it can do accounts, but we're still going to use a human for that, because you don't want to muck about with your accounts, do you?
It's an interesting evolution, as you say. I mean, I don't have a lot of knowledge. We use it in some of the things that we do within the Network of Ambition to Achieve, but it doesn't do everything. I think it's developing daily, because obviously you've got all these millions of users who are inputting into, let's say, for example, ChatGPT. So it's definitely getting stronger daily, because it's learning from what people are putting in. But like you say, that there's a business risk there, really. If you're going to start using it as your accountant, you have to have that human aspect in there, don't you?
I think so.
To make sure that the accounts are correct and that they're, that they're done to HMRC or Companies House standard.
Yeah.
So that moves the conversation now on to the kind of final stages, really, in terms of what advice would you like to give to the younger generation or the viewers on YouTube or social media? What would you say to them if they were thinking about starting a business in graphic design, or a directory business, for example? What advice and guidance would you give to them starting out?
Let's see. Well, for a start, I mean, just touching what we spoke about a moment ago, just going back and saying about like AI and all these new tools that are coming out, it was probably the same when we implemented computers and brought computers in, when guys were working in the printers, setting type on traditional presses and that sort of thing. They probably thought, oh my God, computers are coming in, and oh, here we go, but it takes a while. You still need those traditional tools, I think, somewhere. It's speeding up things. I think that's the key for sort of AI and stuff. And I think people generally can be a little bit lazy. If there's a shortcut, we'll all take it. You know what I mean?
It also goes back to that kind of, I mean, social media maybe plays a part in this, but it's that world we live in now where it's quick consumption, isn't it? Quick turnaround, quick consumption. So
quick feedback, quick
AI.
Hits,
say for example, you were, I don't know, out shopping and you saw in the pasta and rice aisle and you weren't sure maybe what arborio rice is or whatever, you can quick click on the phone, send it to an AI kind of system, and it'll tell you everything about it, origin, how to cook, what to do. Laziness does kind of come into it there, because you don't have to do a lot of work, do you?
No.
Within 30 to 40 seconds, you've got an answer there as to what that rice or pasta is, for example. But yeah, it's interesting. Going to carry on the conversation with these interviews that we do about AI, because it's interesting really to understand it. So what were the kind of mistakes that you made early on that maybe you can tell the viewers about that maybe they could avoid?
Well, particularly with graphic design, the horrible thing is you're going to get things wrong and you're going to feel awful about it. But sometimes customers are going to say, look, I really need this doing. And you will say, oh, okay, then let's do it. You're rushing, you're being rushed, you're rushing, it goes wrong. It's not the customer's fault. They've just realised that they needed something in a hurry. But the customer's never got time to wait for the job to be approved and printed, but they've always got time to wait for you to reprint it. That's what I've found. So check everything. Ask somebody else to check it. I mean, you could perhaps, I don't know how ChatGPT is on Welsh spellings. It's probably not very good just at the minute, but
I think it's getting better.
Is it? Yeah.
I mean, we've used it for some things only as a kind of guidance to be able to talk about it, but it puts something in today in comparison to 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
It's much better, much more linguistic. That kind of correct spelling and correct linguistically. So it is getting there.
Okay. Because obviously it's pulling from a bit of Google Translate as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
and it's learning as well, isn't it? It's a machine at the end of the day, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And then all them sci-fi, science fiction movies of the 70s where computers take over, could happen. Maybe we'll all be sat on beaches while computers do the work. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, you never know. I mean, all you have to do now is do a quick Google search and you can see how many industries are worried for their jobs because AI may replace with virtual assistants, voicemail services, phone answering, telephone. I mean, to be fair, AI has been around us on the telephone system for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You're able now to field calls out from a landline to a mobile, so you don't necessarily need anybody sat on a reception desk anymore, do you?
No, that's
Apart from
book your own appointments.
Yeah. And consoles online where you can book a room. For example, today we booked this online. Didn't really need to speak to anyone to book this room. So it's always been there. It's just the evolution of it now, isn't it? But I think it goes back, the important thing is it goes back to, it's nice sometimes to have a human being to meet you on a booking. Or, if you've got a query or, go to the doctor's surgery, it's nice sometimes just to see a human face to talk to, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to throw something in there now. I think it's possibly not a phrase just yet, but true feedback, I think, is nice. Like you say, going to the doctors, talking to someone in a shop, garage or whatever, I think true feedback is kind of nice, that you know what you're doing. Because myself and Andrew work in isolation, and we've got two fantastic sales girls as well, Angela in Anglesey, Jane over in Abergele. So we do tend to work kind of in isolation. All of the girls are on the phones doing their chatting to people, so there's not a lot of face-to-face all the time, but the girls will meet and discuss things with builders or whatever if they have to, but a lot of the time it's done kind of with real people but in isolation sometimes. So we're in a business, we forget that sometimes, so that's why I'm really happy to come out and discuss things with people like yourself, with other advertisers, customers, other directory people, directors, all this kind of thing, just to see what because the feedback we get from customers, if it's working, like you say, that's great, that's all the feedback we need. But sometimes keeping it real, true feedback, I think is always nice, good or bad. You got to sometimes feel the bad, because if you're doing great work, there are always going to be some bad attitudes towards you, and if you're doing great work, there's going to be some really great positive feedback, which we get from our customers. So, but the face-to-face is good, but we've not always got the time, have we, to go out, and we're always in a rush. And
not now. I mean, the world, it's a different world, isn't it? And I suppose, we're doing all this for social media today, but social media, if you're doom scrolling, I think is the term, isn't it, where you're constantly scrolling through, it does. It's the killer of ambition and time, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Especially if you're stuck on social media, and like you say, it's that quick consumption world now, isn't it? Where people want to understand that quickly, get to that quickly, and that zaps up then the energy to want to speak to somebody face to face.
I think it does.
It breaks it down, doesn't it?
And I know they always say that kids are terrible on phones because it's just TikTok. I think is particularly bad because it's just frame by frame, just funny little things, isn't it? And we do get pulled into it. But more and more, I've got an old Kindle like by my bed, and I've been trying to read that at night, and that's great because that's free. I've had it so many years. There's free Kindle books out there. I've got a stack of books by the side of my bed from local history, local knowledge, to sort of a history of art and design, graphic design, to horror novels, and just pick up a book.
Yeah,
I've got thousands of them in our house.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
Yeah. I
mean, you look at digital devices, the evolution of tablets now, and okay, the Kindle is a form of tablet, but I think sometimes there's nothing better than picking up a brand new book and that smell, that paper and print smell. It's a lovely thing, and being able to walk into Waterstones when I used to live in London, obviously used to spend lots and lots of money in Waterstones, but I think there's nothing better than kind of browsing the bookshelves and having a look what's there and picking it, and it's kind of a sense of completion, isn't it, where you go and purchase the book and take it home, and you get that smell and that experience, and it takes you back, doesn't it, to how maybe life used to be when we were a bit younger.
Well, I mean, having that was what my interest was as a kid, like drawing cartoons, getting the cartoon comic annual every year for Christmas. And you're right, it's I mean, our house is stuffed full of books, like big volumes of your favourite artist or something, volumes by Taschen, the publishing company Taschen, that do everything from artists to just loads of stuff. You'd never pick up a poor Taschen book, brilliant. And we've got them all over our house, and it's just like you say, Waterstones. Also, when I lived in London, it used to be Longacre, walking down Longacre, Waterstones, second-hand bookshops, or Charing Cross, stacked high with stuff. You'd always get a bargain, and it's lovely having some coffee table books even. You don't have to look at it all the time.
Something tangible, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the digital world, you don't have... Hence why, we were offered to do this, the Ambition to Achieve book. We were offered to do this as a digital asset first.
Okay.
But I pushed to have it in paper format like this because I think it's nice to have something tangible to hold and feel.
That matte laminate on the cover, I can spot that. Yeah. Absolutely,
taking it back, to the kind of tradition of picking up a book and reading.
Yeah. And I'm taking one of these because I know it'll go on my shelf, which has got all my like my graphic designers, my photographers. It'll fit right in there. My business
in the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame, yeah.
Well, the gentleman I had on the interview previous to you, Jared, he asked me if I had the pen. And I said to him, "Oh, do you need to fill in?" He said, "No, you need to sign the book.
Of course you do,
in case you become famous." So it's a change of mindset, really.
That's the joy of it, isn't having a book that is signed by so and so. Yeah. I mean, I've got one of my favourite poets is like Roger McGough. One of the Liverpool poets. And I've seen him perform live. I've seen John Hegley live. And Benjamin Zephaniah before he sadly passed, and all these books I've got the signatures in, and it's like, oh wow, man, takes me back.
Memories as well, isn't it? It takes
great.
you back to that era of in time of enjoyment and things that you like to do, and nobody can take that away. That's the beautiful part of it, isn't it?
And it exists in this volume, this book that you've got. You
can always pick up and look at, can't you? Yeah.
And the other thing I'm interested in is obviously going out to see concerts, gigs, and like getting a CD signed or merch, and then meeting the band members and stuff. It's really, really, really great. That's why I collect CDs and stuff as well, because that's a visual thing. I was into comic books, badges, CDs when I was a kid, and like copying logos. Sort of going back a little bit, that's where I started my interest in graphic design. Was like music, CDs, packaging, copying logos, and still exists today. Still collect things like that. Still got a wall of music and books and so forth, and I don't know what's going to happen to them, but
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously
visuals, colour.
We talk about journey, and that's been your journey. Obviously, it's evident to see that you've done that from a young age. Enjoyed looking at colourful sort of comics and drawing out the designs and stuff and narratives. Yeah, it's been really interesting to talk to you. So that brings me on to our final question of the interview.
Go on.
What does ambition mean to you personally?
Tricky one, really, because I've been working so hard on things just to try and sort of get by and get through. The years fly by and you don't remember them all, but you just one day you turn around and realise, oh wow, we've got here.
Yeah.
Not as a finishing point, but it's like, right, we've got in a place where we can start to develop things now. It's like I've got to a place where I can begin. Yeah, part of the journey. Ambition was just obviously to survive in the beginning.
Yeah.
To survive, doing what I want to do. Making a bit of money is always nice. Holidays, car, pets. See that the children and the household is thriving is okay. But ambition, just to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. I think. And like one of my biggest ambitions is always to work for myself from home, and I've achieved that. And I don't know if anybody would employ me now, but too far down the line, too opinionated. But my ideas don't always follow the same course as everybody else's. My timings don't even follow the same course as everybody else's, But it's ambition. Yeah, doing what you want to do. I think when you want to do it, and making a living from it. I mean, don't get me wrong. You've been there as well. You have to do a lot of things, but all these things have come together for me. And I think focus has been on the Dragon and working with Andrea, working with our sales team. And there's been lots of diversifications. Like I say, you just got to start. Don't worry about getting it all ready and then going for it, because we've had extra employees and they've gone because it's not been for them. We've done all sorts of things that we've tried this way. That's not been correct. We've done that and that's not been correct. So not being afraid to change it either. That's the key as well.
Yeah. And
be ambitious and be true to yourself. And if you see, like you say, that the spider's web in the morning dew, let that be part of your creative process. Let that be part of the one thing in the day that makes you buzz, or anything. A tree in the shape of a man's head. It could be anything, You take photos as well, forever, just like, oh, look at that, isn't it weird? And don't pass it by, just like, oh, right, a bit frivolous, I know, but if
shoot it just take that moment, isn't it? Capture that moment in time, because a photographer's dream obviously is things like golden light. You've got the blue hour, the golden hour. You've got light. You've got obviously subject matter.
Yeah.
But you need to kind of, as you talk about journey there, you need to kind of evolutionize through that journey and capture those moments in time that brings you to that perfect sunset, or capturing that spider's web, the dew with the sun shining through. So yeah, it's been a really interesting conversation, Jared.
And good.
Thank you for coming along.
That's good. I like to get out of the office now and again.
Yeah, it's nice to have a bit of human interaction. But really interesting to learn about the things that you've done. So
good man.
If you've taken anything away from this video, please do consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. And if you're currently working on your ambition and you want to share it with us in the comments, please do so. I do get the time to read all comments and respond to you. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon.
Good luck, be kind, and be adventurous.
Thank you, Jared.
Diolch yn fawr.